Imagine waking up one morning to a world utterly transformed. The sun rises, casting an eerie glow over a landscape that is both familiar and alien. You rub your eyes, trying to shake off the remnants of sleep, but the surreal scenes unfolding before you are all too real. The news is filled with unimaginable scenes. Reporters struggle to convey the magnitude of the disaster, their voices tinged with disbelief and fear. Screens flash with images of chaos and destruction, a stark contrast to the mundane morning routines we once knew. Coastal cities, once bustling hubs of human activity, are now submerged beneath the waves. Skyscrapers that once stood as symbols of human achievement now lie in ruins, their foundations eroded by relentless tides. Streets that were once filled with the sounds of life are now silent, buried under meters of water. Millions are displaced, their homes and livelihoods swallowed by the rising tide. Families huddle together in makeshift shelters, their faces etched with worry and uncertainty. Boats navigate through what were once neighborhoods, rescuing those trapped by the sudden deluge. This is the stark reality of a world where Antarctica's ice has vanished overnight. The maps we once relied on are now obsolete, redrawn by the relentless advance of the sea. Iconic landmarks, symbols of our shared heritage, are now hidden beneath the waves. The cause of this global catastrophe? Scientists have long warned us of the dangers of unchecked climate change, but their voices were drowned out by the clamor of daily life. Now their dire predictions have come to pass. The complete melting of the Antarctic ice sheet, a consequence of unchecked climate change. This once distant threat has become an immediate and terrifying reality. The ice, which had stood for millennia, has succumbed to the relentless heat, releasing a deluge of water that has reshaped our world. This event, once a distant threat, has become a terrifying reality, reshaping the planet and our future. The immediate impact is almost too vast to comprehend. Landscapes that were once lush and vibrant are now desolate and barren, stripped of life by the encroaching waters. The immediate impact is almost too vast to comprehend. The sheer scale of the devastation is overwhelming, leaving us grappling with the enormity of the changes that have taken place. The sheer volume of water released from the melted ice sheet is staggering. Rivers have burst their banks, transforming into raging torrents that sweep away everything in their path. The power of nature, once harnessed and controlled, now runs wild, leaving destruction in its wake. Sea levels have risen by an average of 70 meters, redrawing coastlines and swallowing entire nations. Countries that once thrived along the coast are now underwater, their cultures and histories submerged beneath the relentless tide. New coastlines have emerged, but they are barren and uninhabitable. This is not a gradual change, but a sudden catastrophic event. The world has been turned upside down in the blink of an eye, leaving us to pick up the pieces and rebuild in the face of overwhelming odds. The world watches in horror as this disaster unfolds, struggling to grasp the scale of the devastation and the implications for humanity's future. Emergency response teams work tirelessly, but their efforts are dwarfed by the enormity of the task at hand. The global community is united in grief and determination, but the road to recovery is long and uncertain. The age of climate consequences has arrived, and it is far more terrifying than we ever imagined. The future we face is one of uncertainty and challenge, but also of opportunity. We must learn from this disaster, adapt to our new reality, and work together to build a more resilient and sustainable world. The choices we make now will determine the fate of our planet and the legacy we leave for future generations. The maps we once knew are now obsolete. The familiar outlines of continents and countries have been altered beyond recognition. What was once a reliable guide to our world is now a relic of the past, a reminder of a time when the Earth's surface was stable and predictable. Coastlines have been redrawn overnight, reshaping continents and erasing entire nations from existence. The transformation is so drastic that it feels like a scene from a science fiction movie, yet it is our new reality. The once familiar shapes of our world have been replaced by new unrecognizable forms, as if an artist has taken a brush and painted over the old canvas. Low-lying areas are the first to succumb to the rising waters. These regions, which were once bustling with life and activity, are now silent and submerged. The homes, businesses, and communities that once thrived here are now underwater, lost to the relentless advance of the ocean. The impact on the people who lived in these areas is devastating, as they are forced to leave behind everything they have ever known. The Netherlands, Bangladesh, and Florida are gone, swallowed by the relentless ocean. These places, known for their unique cultures and vibrant communities, have been erased from the map. The loss is not just physical but also emotional, as the people who called these places home are left to grapple with the reality of their new world. The memories of these places will live on, but the physical spaces are lost forever. Major cities like New York, London, and Shanghai are now partially submerged, their iconic landmarks transformed into eerie reminders of a lost world. The skyscrapers that once stood tall and proud are now half drowned, their lower floors filled with water. The bustling streets are now canals, and the vibrant city life has been replaced by a haunting silence. These cities, which were once symbols of human achievement and progress, are now monuments to the power of nature. The Statue of Liberty stands knee-deep in water, a silent sentinel to the drowned city behind her. This iconic symbol of freedom and hope now looks out over a landscape of devastation. The sight of the Statue of Liberty surrounded by water is a powerful reminder of the fragility of our world and the need to protect it. It is a call to action, urging us to take steps to prevent further damage and to preserve what remains of our planet. Millions are displaced, fleeing inland in a desperate search for safety and higher ground. The mass migration is unprecedented, as people leave behind their homes, their jobs, and their communities in search of a new place to call home. The journey is fraught with challenges as they face overcrowded roads, limited resources, and the uncertainty of what lies ahead. The human cost of this crisis is immense, as families are separated and lives are upended. Refugee camps swell to unimaginable sizes, struggling to cope with the sheer number of people in need. These camps, which were once temporary solutions, are now becoming permanent settlements. The conditions are harsh, with limited access to clean water, food, and medical care. The people living in these camps face a daily struggle for survival, as they try to rebuild their lives in the face of overwhelming adversity. The world faces an unprecedented humanitarian crisis. The scale of the displacement and the number of people in need is staggering. Governments and aid organizations are stretched to their limits as they try to provide assistance to those affected. The international community must come together to address this crisis, providing support and resources to help those in need. The future of millions of people depends on our collective response. The loss is not just measured in square kilometers of land, but in the rich tapestry of cultures, histories, and communities that have vanished beneath the waves. The places that have been lost were not just physical locations, but also the heart and soul of the people who lived there. The cultural landmarks, historical sites, and vibrant communities that once thrived are now memories, preserved only in photographs and stories. The loss of these places is a loss for all of humanity. The world mourns the loss of these places and the people who called them home. The grief is palpable as people come to terms with the reality of their new world. Memorials are erected to honor the lost cities and the lives that were changed forever. The collective mourning is a testament to the deep connection we have to the places we call home and the importance of preserving our world for future generations. The melting of the Antarctic ice sheet has done more than just raise sea levels. It has set off a chain reaction of climatic disruptions that are being felt across the globe. This massive ice loss is not just a local phenomenon, but a global crisis that is reshaping weather patterns and ecosystems far beyond the polar regions. It has thrown the entire global climate system into disarray, creating a ripple effect that impacts weather systems worldwide. The delicate balance that once maintained relatively stable weather patterns is now in turmoil, leading to unprecedented and often unpredictable climatic events. The sudden influx of fresh water into the oceans has disrupted ocean currents, the engines that drive global weather patterns. These currents, which have been stable for millennia, are now experiencing significant changes, altering the distribution of heat and moisture around the planet. The Gulf Stream, responsible for moderating temperatures in Europe, has weakened significantly, plunging the continent into a colder, harsher climate. This weakening is not just a minor shift, but a profound change that affects agriculture, ecosystems, and human livelihoods. Regions once known for their temperate weather are now experiencing extreme cold and unpredictable weather patterns. The once mild winters have turned severe, and the summers are no longer a guarantee of warmth and stability. Meanwhile, other parts of the world are grappling with the opposite extreme. The increase in global temperatures has led to scorching heat waves that are becoming more frequent and intense, pushing the limits of human and ecological endurance. The increase in global temperatures, fueled by the melting ice, has intensified the hydrological cycle. This means that the processes of evaporation and precipitation are occurring at accelerated rates, leading to more extreme weather events. Evaporation rates have soared, leading to more frequent and intense rainfall in some areas. These heavy downpours can overwhelm infrastructure, causing flash floods and landslides that devastate communities and landscapes. The result is a world of weather extremes. Droughts plague some regions, turning fertile lands into arid deserts and threatening water supplies for millions of people. These prolonged dry spells can lead to crop failures, food shortages, and economic instability, while others are inundated by floods. These floods can be sudden and severe, displacing populations, destroying homes, and causing significant loss of life and property. The economic and social costs of such events are staggering. Hurricanes, fueled by warmer ocean waters, become more frequent and destructive, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. These powerful storms can cause widespread damage, from coastal erosion to inland flooding, and their increased frequency is a direct consequence of the changing climate. The once predictable rhythm of the seasons is gone, replaced by a chaotic and unpredictable climate. This new reality challenges our ability to plan and adapt, as traditional knowledge and practices are rendered obsolete by the rapidly changing environment. The need for innovative solutions and resilient strategies has never been more urgent. Section 4. Silent Oceans, Marine Life Decimated. Beneath the surface of the rising seas, another tragedy is unfolding. The marine ecosystem, already stressed by pollution and overfishing, is dealt a fatal blow by the sudden change in ocean chemistry. The influx of fresh water has disrupted the delicate balance of salinity, temperature, and pH levels. Coral reefs, vibrant underwater cities teeming with life, are particularly vulnerable. The increased acidity of the ocean water weakens their calcium carbonate skeletons, leading to widespread bleaching and death. The loss of these reefs has a cascading effect on the entire marine ecosystem, depriving countless species of food and shelter. Fish populations plummet as their habitats are destroyed and their food sources disappear. The once thriving fishing industry collapses, leaving coastal communities that relied on it for their livelihoods in ruins. The ocean, once a source of life and sustenance, is now a silent graveyard. Section 5. A World on the Move. Human Displacement and Conflict. The displacement of billions of people due to rising sea levels creates a humanitarian crisis of unimaginable proportions. Millions are on the move, fleeing flooded coastal areas in search of safety, food, and shelter. The lucky ones find refuge with family or in makeshift camps, while others are left to fend for themselves in a world turned upside down. The mass migration of people puts an unbearable strain on resources and infrastructure. Countries struggle to cope with the influx of refugees, leading to tensions over dwindling supplies of food, water, and land. Borders are closed and conflicts erupt as nations grapple with the overwhelming challenges of this new world order. The very fabric of society is tested as people struggle to adapt to a world forever altered. The old rules no longer apply, and the future seems uncertain and fraught with danger. In this new reality, survival becomes the primary objective.